Hey guys, it's Nathan coming to you from a very sunny New Zealand, and this year we're talking about creating an extraordinary life. And an extraordinary life is any life that is beyond the ordinary. And if you're not interested in creating an extraordinary life, stop the video now because I don't want to waste your time. But if you are creating an extraordinary life, and as a reminder, that's a life that is on mission, a life that is full of adventure and excitement, that embraces love and connection, and that cultivates a deep sense of inner peace. So if we want to create an extraordinary life, the first thing we have to do is create the foundations, and that's what I want to talk to you today. One of the foundations that's been a key part of me creating my extraordinary life is the morning routine. And I want to touch on this today because it's so important and it's such an easy way to set yourself up for success. You might have heard the quote by Aristotle that says, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is therefore not an act, it's a habit." So to become excellent, to become extraordinary, it's actually more about the boring things like habits and discipline than about the big things like traveling and doing extraordinary things. So your habits are the foundations for an extraordinary life. For me, nothing is a better habit to cultivate than a morning routine. My coach, Phil Drolet, said it perfectly. He said, you know, if you have a bad night's sleep, or you went to bed late, or you're a little bit hungover from having a few drinks the night before, you can actually wake up in a deficit. And if you look at all the things that you do in the morning towards creating a great day, think of those as a +1 every time you do them. So you might actually wake up, if you've had a bad sleep or some of those things I mentioned, at like a -3, -4, maybe even a -5. And it might take a few habits to actually just get you to a neutral point. What ordinary people do is they just get out of bed, do the same thing every day and stumble out the door, you know, never really getting themselves into a great mindset or a great state. So we need to take control of that. We can't rely on just however we wake up as being what sets us up for the day. So the morning routine is an essential thing. I'll take you through my morning routine, not to say that that's the perfect way to do it, but just to give you an example of what I do. Now, I'm not a morning person. I've tried to be, and maybe I will be one day, and maybe you are, and that's great, but you know, I'm trying to fight against my own nature. So I've just embraced the fact that I'm not a morning person, so I don't want to be doing any major work or any coaching or anything big in the morning. So my day doesn't really start till after 11 o'clock, which might sound like a luxury to those of you with kids and stuff like that, but like I said, it's not perfect. It's just what I've been able to embrace for my life. So I wake up, and the first thing I do, I have a sleep app called Sleep Cycle. Look it up in the App Store, Sleep Cycle, and that measures my sleep. And as soon as I wake up, I turn off Sleep Cycle. It asks me how my wake up was, so it keeps track of you know, how good quality my sleep was and how I felt when I woke up. It then takes my pulse using the camera on the back of the phone, which is some freaky futuristic shit. And so I can constantly keep track of my health by looking at my heart rate. It's one of the easiest ways to track your health. And then I have one full glass of water, which just starts my body up and, you know, lets my body know that I'm waking up. And then I read. I read for around half an hour. I first read one verse of the Tao Te Ching, which is, you know, my favorite spiritual text, and that just kind of sets me into that spiritual mindset right at the start of the day. And then I'll just read half an hour of whatever book I'm reading at that moment, and it just allows me to wake up a little bit slower and gets my mind primed into some, you know, cool stuff that I'm reading at that time. Then I'll jump in a cold shower. There's a ton of reasons why cold showers are great. You can look those up online. For me personally, it just wakes me up. One, it gives me like that instant state change and wakes me up. And two, if I have a hot shower, I'm in there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, probably 40 minutes, let's be honest. So if I have a cold shower, it just ensures that I'm going to have a 2 or 3 minute shower and I'm not going to waste too much time sitting in the hot water. I brush my teeth. I take a bunch of pills, just some vitamins and some fish oil tablets and stuff like that. And then I go and do 20 minutes of meditation just to you know, settle my mind down, and just whatever thoughts have been racing through my head before that, I can just calm them down and get myself into a great state. And then do a little bit of journaling and have my breakfast. And by then it's kind of 11:15. So that's a long morning routine. So don't get me wrong, I'm not encouraging you to follow me, but that just allows me to have a consistently extraordinary experience of life. And it sounds like I'm exaggerating. I'm not. Like, by taking the time in the morning to really set myself up powerfully allows me just to experience life differently, to see life through different eyes. And so I usually work from 11 through to about 7 in the evening, and then, you know, whatever after that. So what's your morning routine? I want you to take time to think about it. It's a habit that I want you to cultivate. There's a couple of things you should watch as you cultivate your own morning routine. And that is, don't make it too complicated. Start with one thing at a time to add to the morning routine. One thing that drives me crazy is people that have big spikes of inspiration and motivation. You watch a video like this and then you think, yeah, I'm going to copy Nathan's morning routine and I'm going to do 57 things, and you know, a week into it you've forgotten it, you've let it go, and you know, it was all pointless. It's taken me years to cultivate this morning routine so that it's perfectly aligned for what I need to maximize my day. You need to start figuring out what is going to be the things that prime you up every day. And start small. If it's meditation, start with 5 minutes. If it's reading, start with 5 minutes. You know, for me, the glass of water, if you even remember that I said that, the first thing I do is have a glass of water in the morning. That triggers the start of my routine. And how simple is it to get up and drink a glass of water? Super simple. But I know that is the first step, and straight away, boom, I've got a win, and I know the morning routine has started and it's been triggered. And the more of these little things, you can add over time, slowly over time, the more you're adding plus ones to your day. So by the time you start your day and you walk out the door, you might be at a plus 10 or plus 15. So something to think about. If you want to live an extraordinary life, you can't rely on the state you are when you wake up. You have to take control of getting yourself primed and in the right state so that you can experience life in an extraordinary way. So I want to hear from you guys. Give me some examples in the comments below. Just let me know what are some of the things you do that maybe I haven't even thought of myself in the morning that help you get into a great optimum state. So just list them out in the comments. This is my morning routine, or these are some of the things that I do or I'm trying to incorporate into my morning routine. And I'll talk to you guys soon. I hope you live an extraordinary life.